I'll call this meeting to order. Roll calls up first. Ward number 1, Hembry.
Here.
Council at Large Cummins.
Here.
Council at Large Postian. Ward number 2, Helm. Here. And Ward number 3, McNeil. Here. All right, so we need to rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, then down to the agenda approval. If there are no additions, is there a motion to approve this agenda?
Motion.
Cummins with first and Helm with the second.
Cummins?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Hembry?
All right, so it takes us down to the consent agenda. And these are items that can be enacted with one motion without separate discussion. And that is the first one is the approval of a trip request from Rhonda Taylor at Taylor Tots at 1325 Cedar Street. The approval purchased 3-phase transformers from Wesco to be used in upcoming projects. And then finally, the approval of the permission to block off Cedar to Meridian on 5th Street and Meridian from 5th to 4th Street and use city parking for a car show on the 4th of July. Do any of these need to be pulled out separately? Is there a motion to pass the consent agenda? Helm with the first,
Second.
and Cummins with the second.
Hembry?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
All right, so we do have 2 public hearings tonight, the first of which is a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 23-24 budget. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion.
Cummins with the first and Hembry with the second.
Hembry?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Wagner, oh yeah, sorry, Melissa. It's a long Monday.
I have not, and City Hall has not been notified of any concerns or questions regarding the fiscal year budget. But as a reminder, this was based off of prior emails and budget discussions that we have had. This would set the tax rate at 16.89237, which was the increase of the 0.274 from last year.
All right,
Questions?
any questions up here to either for Melissa? All right, and we just have Adam online, so if is there a motion to close the public hearing? Helm with the first
Second.
and Cummins with the second.
Hembry?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
All right, the second public hearing tonight, it is on a proposal that would enter us into, enter the James Kennedy Family Aquatic Center loan agreement. Ooh. Need a motion to open this public hearing?
Second.
McNeil with the first and Cummins with the second. Mr. Wagner?
McNeil?
Oh, I'm sorry.
McNeil?
Yes. I'm
Hembry?
off today. Sorry, everybody.
Cummins?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes. All right, Mr. Wagner.
This sets up the GEO bonds to help pay for the new dehumidifier unit at the aquatic center. The first 400,000 of that, you were recalling just ahead of the meeting that the cost of it that was approved last year was something above that. We only received the invoice for it 3 weeks ago, and this pays for the first 400,000.
So it's not in addition to.
No.
Yep.
No. And then I think Melissa's worked out the rest through local option.
Yes, lost, and then it'll be, lost can fund that, the difference, and then we'll pay back.
Any other questions for Melissa or Brian? Is there a motion to close this public hearing?
Motion.
Cummins with the first and Helm with the second.
Hembry?
Yes.
Cummins?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Helm?
Yes. All right, so that takes us down to city business, and the first one tonight is a resolution that would approve the city of Tipton fiscal year 23-24 budget. Melissa?
This just goes back to the public hearing, and
Yes, you
is
do.
part of the state code requirement.
If there are no questions for Melissa, is there a motion to pass the resolution for the annual budget.
Motion.
Cummins with the first,
Second.
and Helm with the second.
Embry,
No.
Cummins,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
McNeil.
No.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You have to understand the implications of not being able to pass a budget.
yeah.
So part of that is if we do not pass a budget in the order that is required, we are not able to spend. We are not able to receive any property taxes. Only once those things are done in correct, non-overlapping order can a budget be filed. Failure to do so results in all loss of all property taxes except for debt service and the inability to spend any cash on hand.
So what exactly does that mean for the city in terms, there will be no money coming in and no money going out?
Right.
That stalls everything.
Can I ask why the no's? Is that
Yeah, go for it.
okay?
Yep.
I mean, is there something that we should be looking at?
Well, when I look at the budget, the swimming pool, the rec department's budget is bigger than the street department.
It's been like that through this whole process, hasn't it?
I have not been notified of any questions regarding the budget. I've not had any contact from any council person regarding any concerns, any questions, so I am not certain
Ron,
why.
did you have any input?
My biggest struggle is the amount of trash transfers from the enterprise funds and how much we're using that to subsidize our general operating costs. And it's a tough call. As long as we continue to feed from our enterprise funds, it continues to persuade us to finance our children's future, and that's what hurts about it. So if we learn to live within the known revenues without using so much in lieu of, it will stabilize things a little better,
This,
personally speaking, but
this is not great timing to try to make that point.
No.
And our transfer percentage went down from last year across all pilots.
If a possibility of tabling is there, what does that do?
We have, if this doesn't approve tonight, we have lost, this is required to be filed by April 30th. There's a 10 and 20-day publication requirement, which we won't be able to meet.
And what if I mean, I don't know where Jason stands, but if we were to table for a day or 2 days, do we know if he's available for a vote?
We can't have another vote until it's, has another public hearing.
Yeah.
So we're.
Yeah.
We're in trouble and I'll have to contact the state and see, there's already gonna be penalties if this doesn't pass.
Also, so just to be clear, in, what is it, 11 days, our employees don't get paid.
We have a budget through July. I don't know if that would implicate it starts effective now or if that would implicate July
next,
1.
right.
Yes, either way, we would not meet the state budget requirement deadline, which is April 30th, which will have a penalty of some sort. And I don't know what that is to that degree.
And also, just one more question maybe. None of these numbers have changed throughout this whole entire process.
Not since they've been brought back and revised and everyone has been included on all changes, all documents.
This is one of those times where the elected person has to ask him or herself if they can live with the way they voted and all the implications of that. And is the public willing to let them live with that too?
I'm gonna go ahead and change my vote.
Did
I'm
you?
gonna make sure that next year it starts decreasing some more. So you can take another vote and I'll approve it.
All right, Councilperson McNeil has asked to have this motion brought back up. Is there a motion again to approve this budget?
Motion.
Helm with the first,
Second,
Cummins with the second.
Hembry,
No,
Cummins,
yes,
McNeil,
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
thanks, Tim.
All right, the second one tonight, it's a resolution that would set the time and place for a public hearing for the purpose of soliciting the oral and written comments on the city's proposed fiscal year 22-23 budget amendment. Ms. Armstrong?
It's part of another state requirement. This would be amending the current year budget. This is just setting the public hearing for that to be May 15th at your regularly scheduled meeting at 5:30.
This is something that all cities do. We've done it every year. It's just one of those things that happens that when you set a budget at this time of year for a fiscal year that doesn't end until June 30th of the next year, things are gonna come up that couldn't have been anticipated over a year before. That always happens. And that's what this is about, what she's putting up for a resolution.
And this is just for the public hearing.
Just setting the public hearing.
All right. Is there any questions on this time and place of this public hearing? Is there a motion to set this public hearing?
motion.
Embry with the first
Second, go,
and McNeil with the second.
Cummins,
yes,
Hembry,
Yes,
McNeil,
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
All right, number 3, it's a resolution that would set another public hearing regarding that North Plum Street improvements project. Mr. Wagner?
Yeah, this is proposed for May 15th, and that's in order to get, allow time to have a new letter sent out to the people who live along the project area so they can have time to think about what's being proposed if this public hearing resolution is passed. The alternates have gone up. The first alternate is for the 31 feet, but without curb and gutter. It would have 2-foot gutters on both sides.
2-foot shoulders.
I'm sorry. 2-foot shoulders lined off with a white line. The other one is for a 31-foot back of curb to back of curb and gutter design. The total cost of the first alternate is $468,977. That's the estimate, construction only. Alternate 2 is $570,391. We've yet to determine, I think along the way, Melissa's gonna have to take a look at when the actual bids come in to see how affordable the project is in this year versus next year. We can bid it where it has both of those. I set these dates up to be announced because I'm hoping that we can collect all the easements before the project goes out to bid, so we can make sure that there aren't any holdups along the way, and that we can make sure that everybody who lives along the project area has a chance to review their easement that's been proposed and can have a chance to get us back a signed version.
All right, so this is for the public hearing, setting that. There are no questions. Is there a motion to approve the setting of the public hearing?
Motion.
Embry with first, then McNeil with the second.
Hembry,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Helm,
Yeah.
Cummins.
Yes.
All right, number 4, this is a resolution that would take additional action on the proposals to enter into James Kennedy Family Aquatic Center loan agreement that would combine loan agreements and set the date for the sale of the general obligation corporate purpose bonds and the authorizing the use of preliminary official statement in connection therewith. Mr. Wagner?
Yeah, this just formalizes what was discussed in the public hearing.
All right. Any questions? Adam is online too, or online as well, maybe line 2, but he is online as well. If anybody has any questions for Adam. Because this has to do with the humidification
Right.
or dehumidification.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, D.
And, all right, there we go.
So we're
There,
going to set it on the ground.
that's what I was gonna ask, but I don't know.
That's what
I believe.
that's what the design
The
is going
plan,
to
right?
call for, yes.
That's cheaper for, as far as the structural wise, isn't it?
And we can leave everything on the roof too and not have to
Right.
redo that again after we just did it.
Right.
So roughly, where do you think it's going to be set? Is it going to be set on the west side then? Over the surge tanks?
Yes.
Or outside of the surge tanks?
I believe it's over the tank. Does that sound right, Adam?
What's that again? I couldn't hear Ron. Can you hear me? Stan.
Over the tank or not?
Sorry. The tank, the unit I thought was going to go in between the northeast and the middle double doors on the northeast side of the natatorium.
Proceeds from the big sale benefit are unveiling students who are attending schools in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hang on one.
It's between it would be.
Oh, yeah.
You say the northeast section of the building up there?
This is not conducive for anything. Adam.
Cut in and out.
I just did this.
Phone it in, don't work as good.
Because to facilitate the ductwork, Brian, it would work best from the west side.
Mm-hmm.
And then whether or not you're putting it on piers to avoid straddling the surge tank.
Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What I was told was last time I knew that it was going to be on the north side of the facility, northeast side of the facility, in between the northeast double doors and the middle double doors on the north side of the facility. Good.
We'll work
So
it.
basically, in between
We'll
the two
verify
big sets
it
of
and
doors
get
that
it
go
to
into
you.
the
Yeah.
main door,
So, because this is not
right?
for plans and specs, this
Right.
is just the
This is
loan
just,
agreement.
yeah.
I think we gotta look at that.
Yeah. All right, so as far as the actual loan agreement, if there are no other questions, is there a motion to enter into this agreement? Or I don't know, are there other questions regarding the actual loans?
Yeah, this motion doesn't have anything to do with the placement of it,
Nope.
right? So-
Nope.
This pay for the air handler we purchased.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
Motion.
Yeah.
First from Henry, second from Helm.
Yes.
Hembry,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes,
All right, number 5, this one is a resolution that would set a public hearing on the proposed sale of the city-owned real estate that is at 1011 Cedar Street.
And that will be for the regular meeting on May 1st.
motion.
Cummins with first,
Second.
and Hembry with the second.
McNeil,
Yes.
Helm,
Yes.
Cummins,
Yes,
Hembry.
Yes.
All right, and finally, the last one, this is an ordinance that would amend chapter 65, the stop or yield sign, the yield required. This is the first reading of it. Is there a motion to pass the first reading?
Motion.
McNeil with first and Hembry with the second.
Helm,
Yes.
Cummins,
yes.
Hembry,
Yes.
McNeil.
All right, then that takes us down to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? McNeil with first and Hembry with the second.
Cummins,
Yes.
Hembry,
Yes.
McNeil.
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.